Odd jobs, work based on enthusiasm. A little something here, a little something there, little something, but very valuable. Without those odd jobs, my life would be meaningless. Without those little things, I would always be a bother to my kind mother. With that money, I can fulfill many needs. Muliani took a deep breath. Work made Muliani increasingly understand that a word has a narrow side and a broad side. A word is just a word. When it is limited to a word, that word is narrow. But in essence, a word carries breadth and spaciousness. Like the word City X, a word that refers to the representative name of a place, the name of a city, light and only contains a few letters. But in reality, City X reflects a vast city. If someone's job is only going from their boarding house to campus and malls that are very close to the campus area, of course City X will be as light as the letter content of the city. If their job is like mine, they must know that City X is vast, especially if the journey from one place to the next uses an old bicycle that exposes you to lots of sunlight with a myriad of benefits in the midst of heavy traffic and long asphalt roads. That will be able to make someone feel the vastness of a city. My first destination today. Gadang Artha housing. If I'm fast, the work will be finished at 12, if not, at 1 hour. When she started her profession, Muliani just realized that her job allowed her to meet many people in the best conditions, at home, enjoying the warmth, familiarity, without having to be tied to a relationship with a title other than her profession. Muliani really likes relationships that still allow her to be present, to be able to enjoy being present in other people's lives while still prioritizing her freedom. Not having to disturb other people's lives with her desires and presence. Meeting someone at home, according to Muliani, gives the meeting a depth of feeling, making the meeting a meaningful meeting. Being in the warmest place, of course, makes Muliani often get a lot of warmth. A comfortable resting place, warm comfortable chats, also a serving of home cooking, a glass of warm tea of the right quality, not the quality of profit seekers who lower quality in order to increase profits. Muliani's job not only gives Muliani the opportunity to meet many people, the job also makes Muliani always meet new people. These meetings always happen in the warmest, most private place, namely the house. Warmth that collaborates with privacy certainly creates an atmosphere that is much more humanitarian. Warmth is not always in a pleasant context. There are many stories that are engraved in togetherness, and not all of those stories bring laughter and smiles. But in the end, Muliani's ability to listen well certainly brings a smile to those who tell said stories. Meeting people in their homes makes all conversations meaningful, not pointless rambling conversations. The name is meeting at home, not just meeting on the street, then forgetting. If the client's housing is far from busy traffic routes, of course there is no lead. If you meet on the street, don't ask. It's normal, right? That's what working in a house, someone's house, is like. And I've been like this for years. This is my 4th year, just the 4th, just for years. My 4th year. 4th, already? Only 4th? If it lasts 4 years, it seems like a long time. If calculated, 4 years is still a shallow number. So, I still don't have anything. It's only 4 years old, just 4 years to be precise. More calming, more fun. Choosing to think like that made Muliani feel much more comfortable with herself. When I was in college, everything seemed unclear. I didn't know what I was going through. The presence of a teacher made everything a learning process that was more visible. A teacher who felt like a real guide, a life teacher. Becoming a therapist because I had a guide made me go through it with a clear feeling. I knew where I was and what I would face, and I really loved my teacher, my guide, Anindya, my mother who, after I was separated from her, I just found out I had something for her. It seemed I loved my mother very much. It turned out that was love. Spending time working is very much liked by Muliani. Moving from one house to another is not a new thing for Muliani. It is part of Muliani's job. Moving so often from one house to another makes the intuition to find a new address, of course, stronger. Like a tracking dog that is continuously trained, of course it will become more adept. Muliani almost never experiences significant difficulties finding the address she needs to go to. In Muliani's life, Muliani does not need to worry about eating. Even though eating means not according to the general time such as lunch, dinner, breakfast, For Muliani, eating is still eating. The important thing is to eat. The important thing is to be able to eat. It is no wonder that Muliani rarely experiences urgent situations and is forced to starve. When Muliani finally arrived at the first house, the host immediately invited her to eat the food that had been prepared. Another form of warmth that Muliani received from working in someone's house. Muliani enjoyed it with gratitude. Even though she had already devoured a plate of rice with a menu of duck omelette vegetables whose mortar was filled with fresh vegetables without being processed first. At the second house, Muliani was again served lunch. Muliani almost never refused an offer to eat anywhere, anytime, no matter what her stomach condition was, full or empty. Why should I disappoint someone who has good intentions sincerely? Sincerity is delicious. Sincerity is the real delicacy. Sincerity makes my body always have room for every food served. Food supplies can be enjoyed at any time. Food supplies must also be finished. Nothing should be wasted. Having anything including just provisions, very extraordinary, must be highly appreciated. After trying to have it, must be increasingly appreciated. The presence of something that is owned is already a very extraordinary thing. Must be grateful. Having something is an extraordinary thing. Very extraordinary. The appreciation does not depend on the value, but on the fact that I have something. After moving to houses, Muliani lay down for a moment, placing her entire body on the flat floor, then stretched her body for a moment, enjoying a moment of sleep. There was no way Muliani would ask permission to rest at the house of the person who called her to come. The person called for therapy. Of course, there was no need to know whether I was tired or not. If I was tired, it wasn't like I could adjust the time. I just had to wait for my tiredness to go away. But if I was asked to rest, I wouldn't refuse. After enjoying some time lying down to relieve fatigue in a public facility, feeling that her physical strength had returned, Muliani returned to work. And when fatigue piled up at the end of the day, that fatigue gave meaning to the boarding house that was the result of a compromise. That boarding house was my home. How meaningful it was to have a place to live. I knew I had a place to spend my nights full of fatigue. It was very calming. That was a place to live, especially if you had a house. That's how Muliani spends her days and the time she has. Muliani spends her time moving from one house to another, from one place to another, once in a while. Muliani also visits her juniors who have been able to break through the darkness and find a glimmer of light that leads them to better boarding houses from the results of their own hard work. Once in a while, Muliani also visits her seniors. Once in a while, Muliani visits her seniors who have settled in City X and its surroundings just to exchange news or receive donations for her juniors that the seniors have given on their own initiative. The donation will be managed to support young people who have just graduated from high school who dream of the pleasure of continuing their studies with their own strong determination. The dream that has the support of their parents is also complemented by their parents' financial limitations. Once in a while, just once in a while, without having to be tied down and tied into a relationship that makes other people have to be responsible for me or my juniors. I like freedom. I like the freedom of my life. I like my life. I don't want to disturb other people's lives at all. I don't like my presence to disturb anyone at all. I just came because I wanted to make sure my seniors were healthy. Whatever they want to be, they have to be healthy. Whether they are scum, trash, or not, they have to be healthy. If they are my seniors and juniors who are scum who like to take without permission, I certainly don't need to care. Won't care. It was late at night. The streets were getting quieter. The night wind accompanied the thick sky that could not be defeated by the street lights. Muliani enjoyed walking through the quiet streets that brought silence with an extraordinary fresh feeling caressed by the cold night wind.